Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. I am so grateful you are here. I am so fired up about this episode and what I have to share with you. Oh my goodness, let's get right to it. I had a cool experience. It usually starts off with a cool experience, right? I always try and have really cool experiences in life because what is life, right? Life is a culmination of experiences. So if you're not having cool ones, what is your life? Probably boring. So make sure you have cool experiences. However, I've got this friend. I've mentioned him in previous episodes. He's a fairly new friend, and he's trying to get me to be a cowboy. Simply stated, he loves horses, has a lot of them, quite a few of them, a couple dozen of them. And he's trying to get me to be a cowboy. My wife's greatest dream and desire is for me to be a cowboy one day. Will that happen? Who knows? Am I totally opposed to it? No, because horses are super cool. I've always been more of a dirt bike and motorcycle and that kind of guy, mountain biking on the mountains versus riding a horse. However, I've never experienced a horse outside of a little bit here and there. But this friend requested some help. I said, "How can I help you?" He said, "Tomorrow morning, can you help me transfer one of my studs to another range where there's a whole bunch of studs?" So I learned that studs or male horses, when you put a whole bunch of them together, they calm down, kind of like a whole bunch of dudes in a locker room. Nobody is super wound up emotionally and libido wise, if you know what I'm saying. They're calm and they remain calm when it's a bunch of guys. So he asked if I can help him get one of the studs, a 2-year-old stud named Sigma, down to a range about 45 plus minutes south. I said, "Yeah, no problem. What time do you want to do it?" I said, "Can you be at my house at 7 a.m.?" He lives an hour away from me. So I said, "Okay." So I got up at 4 o'clock and did my cold plunge, did all my stuff, and realized the gym doesn't open till 5 on Saturdays. So I ended up doing a exercise band workout in my living room. Got to get things done, right? Get the exercise done, get down there and get to his house first, help him out with things around the house, emptying his office walls because he's got painters coming in to repaint the walls. And then we get over to the stalls where the horses are. We got 5 horses there, and he's relocating Sigma. We get Sigma in the trailer, and he didn't really want to go in the trailer, but I cleaned it all out for him, made it all nice, got food in there, got some hay, got some alfalfa, which he loves alfalfa. It's kind of like brown sugar to him. He loves it. So that kind of enticed him to get into the trailer. Get him loaded up. We head south. We load up 45 bales of hay on the way, which was a ton of work, and then get to the pasture where the other 3 studs are. Now, those 3 studs are ages 3 through about 4. And the 3-year-old is the resident alpha. We will call him Ronan. And Ronan was there. He can smell Sigma in the trailer while we're unloading the bales of hay. And he's neighing like crazy and kind of hooping and hollering and being emotional that there's another male in his area. And he wasn't liking it. And so we finally unload the hay and back Sigma out of the trailer, which is already a cool lesson. If you know backing a horse out of a trailer, it's kind of a pain in the butt. And if you rush it, you're probably going to get smushed against the wall. But if you have patience and you gently guide the horse backwards, he can step off the ledge. It's because he doesn't know where the edge of the ledge is. He knows there's a ledge because he climbed into it. He's got a memory. He knows there's a ledge and he's nervous to back off of it and fall. But if you do it gently and guide with grace, they'll back out nice and easy. Back him out, and we approach Sigma and Ronan with a fence between. And what I witnessed was remarkable. And it happened exactly as my friend thought it would. Sigma leaned his head, nestled his head down into the neck of Ronan. And Ronan is yelling and screaming and bucking and kicking. and really emotional, just really upset. Whereas Sigma was very calm and not really making any sound. He just kept putting his head against Ronan's neck and his chest, telling him to calm down, quite literally, without using words. He was emotionally and energetically speaking to Ronan. Ronan didn't like it. He kept kicking, kept bucking, was really, really mad. And Sigma remained calm. He kept leaning his head in. And then Sigma turned around and Shane put his butt to him, basically saying, "Kiss my butt." I'm the new alpha in town and you can kiss my butt. That's basically what he was saying to Ronan. Ronan didn't like that. The other two studs that are betas to Ronan kind of came up, joined in the banter, yelled a little bit, neighed a little bit, kicked the fence a little bit with their front hoofs and their rear hoofs. But they were just kind of being little pansies. And they left off because they're the betas. They're not the alpha. Well, Ronan was far too emotional to put them in the same pasture together. So we segregated Ronan and brought Sigma in with the other two. Once again, the other two ganged up on Sigma, and Sigma remained calm. They were neighing at him, they were kind of kicking, and he remained calm. He would put his head up against their head and basically tell them to calm down. They didn't want to calm down, so he turned around and bucked one in the hip, and that caused that one to limp a little bit. Didn't buck him too hard, but enough to hurt. And the other one, with his front hooves, he front kicked him to the face. And just what's called alpha downed them. He told them who the new boss is, who the new alpha is. Now, all of this stuff took place. They sprinted up and down the pasture. They were kind of racing, blowing off steam, blowing off energy. And Sigma decided to go be off by himself and explore the new pasture, where he can go and where he can't go, and his new home, what he's going to be, where he's going to be. And I watched this take place in awe. I was just jaw dropped watching nature take its course and watching two alphas face off. Traditionally, you see videos of alpha male horses and bulls and just animals in general, bears and oxen and whatever else, just fighting. Lions just fight. But if you pay attention, you will see the one that is calm always wins the battle. Ultimately, whoever can keep their emotions in check win the battle, because they control with their mind, not their emotions. When you control with your mind, you have control of your central nervous system. You can think clearly, make rational thought, rational execution, rational decision. On the decision side of things, if you're making a lot of decisions, your quality of decision making goes down. If you minimize the number of decisions, your quality goes up. That's why it's so important to maximize your time and maximize, or I should say minimize, the number of decisions you make. Wow, my mouth. Each and every day. Blah, blah, blah. Let's correct my mouth. I digress. Be like Sigma. Have a calm mind when approaching a chaotic situation. Keep your emotions in check. Look back on your life and think about every time that you had a chaotic or a high stress situation. How well did it go when you were emotional and not in check? And then how well did it go when you were in check and you stayed calm, cooled, and collected? Your level of equanimity was high. I've spoken about equanimity before. The way you have high levels of equanimity is to constantly place chaos in your life each and every day on a controlled level. That's why I cold plunge. That's why I take cold showers. That is why I go to the gym and stress my body. That's why I do all of these things. They are loading the system incrementally. So when large life happens, I know how to handle it with beauty and grace. Control your mind. Control your thinking, because your thinking leads to action and your actions lead to opportunities. If you remember, I used to say action precedes action, but it's actually thoughts precede actions and action precedes opportunities. Therefore, your thoughts lead to opportunities. Amazing, right? All of that comes when you have a calm mind. Be like Sigma. It is amazing to think about how much you can accomplish when you keep the internal system calm. If you're constantly an anxious bag of nuts, you're just going crazy, it's hard to make rational decisions. It's hard, it's difficult to make quality decisions. But if you remain calm, your decision making skill greatly and vastly improves. I know this to be true from experience. And as I stood there watching these two horses do as nature intended, one using his mind, remaining calm in a chaotic situation, he won the fight. He won the battle, and he is the new alpha. We knew that to be the case because we knew that Ronan was kind of more of an emotional creature and Sigma was more of a thought-provoking creature. Both horses, but how they operated was different. Ronan was previously the alpha purely because of his emotional state. He was just hyper and aggressive. And when he went against other ones, they backed down because they weren't mentally stable. But when somebody comes with both size, don't get me wrong, Sigma is still about 20% larger than Ronan. Even though he's a year younger, he's still larger, physically larger. But he didn't have to come in with him with aggression. Whenever you've had altercations with people, how calm are you remaining? When you have to have a difficult conversation, how calm are you remaining? When something you don't expect at the office or work, an employee does something or a client does something, how calm are you remaining? I promise you, the calmer you are, the easier the resolve is to get to. And by and large, the outcome is a better outcome versus just remaining ticked off. And we all know where that goes. That is what I have for you. It's a little bit shorter today, but I'm grateful for you. I love you. I'm grateful you tune into these episodes every week. I'm grateful that you share them. I'm grateful for the reviews you have left me. I'm grateful for you to reach out and have a conversation with me. I grow from them so much. They are so cool to have. And it's wild to me who these episodes reach. Having looked, I have been on, I think, every continent, pretty positive every continent, and a good chunk of the countries of the world. That's pretty cool. I didn't ever expect that or ever think that was going to happen with this little show of mine. But you never know who you're going to reach. Open your mouth. Share your story. Share your thoughts. If you need help with that, reach out. If you need help with business operations, reach out. You can find me on social, Mr. Brad Draper, on all platforms. It is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.